Hi guys, good morning. So let me share my screen. So yesterday we discussed about introduction of Android, right? So today we will see exactly what we are going to discuss in our course, that we will see deeply here today first. Right, so here now, first of all, what we are going to discuss here, this is the first step. So that is introduction of Android. So under the history, in this introduction, first we will see what is mobile app development. Like there are web development is there, mobile app development is there, right? So what is the difference between those two, that we will see first. Then after we will go to the Android, what is Android and why Android, features, what are the features and what are the key features of Android. Then after that, how it became an open source, means there we will discuss history. So in history part we will get how that Android became an open source, will get, and in case if it is open source, what are the advantages also we will discuss there. Then after that, Android has many versions. So like the latest version is the 13. So from the starting onwards till the 13, what are the versions and the version wise features, so that we will see, because that features also very important, because when we are writing the code, sometimes some feature cannot support in a specific form, so that by seeing the version itself we can justify, so that we can see here that. Then after, architecture. So the Android architecture. So what is this Android architecture? Like yesterday I told when we discuss about the Linux kernel, I said so this is the in a architecture, these all are the various steps are there. So those steps we will discuss in detail, what are the things it will involve in architecture, that we will discuss here this. And after that, setup of Android. So in a system, what is the system requirement and how to install Android Studio, so that we will discuss in detail. And once we install the studio, what are the steps it is involved, that we will discuss in detail here. Then after, we will create a first program. So that program can be here, we used like how to create a project and what are the steps involved on that, and what are the instructions need to follow to create a project, and how to access the sources, that we will discuss in detail in this section. After that, so as I told here yesterday, so we will use for the design XML, we will use, right? So the XML we will discuss in detail of this year. So like what are the introduction, like how to use XML and what are the advantages and what are the rules and how to write that XML. Here we will discuss the introduction of the XML. So XML is nothing but it's a extensible markup language. But what is this markup language? So which is the language we use for the design, that we can say has markup language. So that we will discuss in this year. Just like HTML. HTML is also, it's a markup language. So the HTML we will use for the design of web application. This XML we will use for the design of the mobile application. So both we will discuss here in detail. Then after this, using the XML, we will go with the design. So like here to design, there are a various kind of layouts are there. So those layouts are like relative, linear, table, frame, fragment, grid, constraint. So like this, there are various kinds of layouts are there. So those are layouts one by one here. We will discuss in detail how to create a user interface, that we will discuss in detail here. This. And after that, sometimes maybe we can design this layout from the Kotlin side also. That also we will discuss here. This. After that, we will discuss components, common components of the user interface. Like I want to display some text in my user interface, and I want to display a button. So checkbox is for the like multi-selection, toggle button, on and off, seek bar, like volume control, brightness increment, like that, and rating bar. So where we can give the ratings to the app, product, something else like that kind of thing that we will discuss. And after that, radio button, like male gender selection. Next is the image view. So like we can use the image view to display the some content, and image button. So these kind of all the things like XML code plus how to handle that in Kotlin. So that we will discuss in detail. After that, we will write the forms. Like from user side, I want to collect the user information like username, password, email ID, mobile number, etc. fields. So those here we will cover in this, like all the including all the validations. Like if it is a mobile number, it should contain 10 letters. Email ID must it should contain at the rate, and that validation, that kind of validations, all the things we will discuss here. Like for example, date of birth, it should accept only older dates, not future date. If I want to book a ticket, I need to enable only feature date. Like that kind of all the things we will discuss here in detail of this. Right. After that, this is the very important here. That is the components of Android. So here there are total 5 components of Android: activity, intent, broadcast receiver, services, and content provider. So if you are aware of these 5 components, if you are aware of these 5 components, easily you can manage with the static applications. Means you can build a static application if you are knowledge on these 5 components. So that static application means which is not communicating to the server. Like internal phone itself, what we are going means basic kind of application you can build using this. Right after that, we'll enter into the next session, that is a advanced user interface. Like for example, I want to display 100 members of data. So that for that we will use the concepts called arrays. So using the arrays here, we will display the things like using list view, grid view, and list view is nothing but our contacts, like how it is. Grid view is side by side menu, like our menu in phone, and the next is the spinner. So the spinner is nothing but it's a drop down menu, autocomplete like Google search. So that is the next is the custom views. So the custom views we will discuss in this list. And after that, multimedia, like how we are dealing with media here. Like I want to deal with audio, I want to deal with video. So how to display, how to play, how to record, such kind of things we will discuss in detail here. This. And after that, we will work on the telephony manager, like how to make a call, how to send email, how to send an SMS, and how to get IMEI number of the mobile, because nowadays like phone pay, Google Pay, so for those cases these type of concepts are required. because which is registered SIM is not available in a phone, we cannot pay amount to the anyone, right? So the like that kind of things here we will see here this in telephony manager. Then after that Wi-Fi manager. So the Wi-Fi manager also very important here now, like in WhatsApp, what we can set a feature, images, videos can download only in Wi-Fi zone. Like that kind of mechanisms, if you want to perform, like you need to know you connected to mobile data or you connected to Wi-Fi. So that kind of things we can see here in details. Then after that phone status. So sometimes from the user side, even if he put his phone on a silent also, from our application side, if you want to ring or if you want to uh, vibrate, and that kind of functionality we can manage from here. That is the phone status. Then next is the Bluetooth. So this nowadays the Bluetooth is very important because we are connecting many IoT devices using the Bluetooth, right? So that all the things we can do from here, like how to connect with the IoT devices. Means IoT means internet of like AC, TV, fridge. So such kind of all the things we are connecting nowadays. So such kind of things how to handle that we will discuss here. This next is the intents. So this intents is also like a very important, like I want to move from first page to second page and second page to third page, or I want to, while moving from first page to second page, I want to transfer some data. So that kind of things we can do using intent. Not only that, like I want to invoke the system components, like system components like camera, and I want to access the images from the gallery, or I want to open the contacts, or I want to call, I want to send SMS. So such kind of all the things can be work based on the intents only. So that we will discuss in detail this. Then after this dialogues. What is the dialogue? Like I'm using the application, suddenly I press the back button. So it will ask that do you want to close or do you want to save, continue like that, right? So such kind of alert dialogues, and when anything related to web page, means data is accessing from the server side. So progress, like it is content is loading, such kind of dialogues, and you want to select the date of birth, time. So those kind of all the alerts dialogues we will discuss in this section. And after that, activity. So this activity is nothing but here in our Android, we will say if activity means it is like a kind of one page with some XML and Kotlin or Java code that we can say as an activity. Means in one activity how to handle that steps we will discuss in detail here. The next is the service. So the service is also very important here, means which can deal with the background processes. Like for example, I set alarm at 6 a.m. So the service will run continuously in a background. It will check when 6 a.m. is happens. Then it can alert the user. So such kind of background processes we will say, like now we will put download the app and we'll go back, and automatically that app can be downloaded in a background and it can be installed, right? So such kind of things it can be handled in a service. Next is the broadcast receivers. So the broadcast receiver is nothing but here. So like here, this will give the announcements to the user, like low battery, Wi-Fi available, Bluetooth available. So such kind of broadcast announcements, we can see here. This next is the content provider. This content provider is very important because like content provider example is WhatsApp. Like how, for example, like we are saving the data in contacts, right? But WhatsApp is taking the contacts permission. So whatever the name we are saving, the same name it is showing in the contacts. That is simple example for the content provider. Like similar messaging app also, because we are saving the contact in contacts, but from the contacts it is accessing the name in the messages also, like that. So that is the contact provider that we will discuss here. Next step is notifications. So the notifications is also very important because we are alerting the user, like if in case if you have the shopping cart application, so you can send offers to the users, or if you are the other application like your app has updated, or your other any kind of notification or chart kind of application. So such functionalities, if you want to implement this notification is very important. So that's we will discuss here this. And the next topic, which is that is a web service. This is a very important. So because web service, this web service using the web service we can deal many things. Like without this web service knowledge, you cannot develop dynamic application, and even you won't get the job also, right? That's the reason this web service is very important. Here in this, we can use the introduction of the web service, what is architecture, components, and advantages. And this web services format we will use in a JSON format. So we will deal with the JSON. So using the JSON, like how to deal with the JSON, we will discuss in detail of this. And after that, data binding. So this data binding is also some of the real-time concept, because in a real time every people has used this data binding to avoid the null pointer exceptions. So this how this is will work, we will discuss in detail of this here. Data binding we will discuss in detail how to discuss this. The next is the fragments. So the fragments is also very important, like reusability of the layouts. So to reduce the app size and increase the app speed, fragments are very important role this will play. So that we will see how to deal with this. And after that, Android system overview, like how to share the files and how to share the data between the different pages. So that we will discuss in detail. Then after this is a very important SQLite library. So that SQLite library, using the SQLite library, we can store the data internally, and when internet connection has came, that data if you want you can push to server, means we can make online and offline applications using this SQLite. So that we can discuss in detail here this. After that, this is the retrofit. So the retrofit is the part of the web service. So this is as I told yesterday, also I told retrofit and volley. So some people are using the retrofit, some people are using the volley to deal the web service related thing. So that's the reason I'm we will discuss both the things, like retrofit as well as the volley. Both the things we will discuss in detail here this. And after that, the very important, that is to make an attractive user interface. So we will deal with the material design. So the material design, using the material design, in the material design there are more than 10 topics. So each and every, like we want to make advanced user interfaces using this. This material design is from the third party. The third party is nothing but here it's a Google only. Google has introduced this material design. This material design not only in Android, this material design can be used in web based applications also they'll use. So like here there are the various kinds of things are there, so that we will discuss in detail of this. Then after here the next step which is here is the Firebase. So this Firebase is also very important nowadays because configure this Firebase is very important. Like here we can store the data, and we can make dynamic application using the Firebase also, and we can get the crash report. For example, I release the application, so that application in a Play Store. I don't know who installed my application, but unfortunately my mobile app has crashed in one of the version, like so that we can able to know, okay, this particular version, this mobile has crashed because of this reason. Like that user can receive a email alert, so that we can go to this Firebase console and we can check the particular error and we can resolve the issue, so that it can be here. This is a Firebase crash. This is. And the next, like OTP authentication also we can do, like here also, even in using Firebase also we can do plenty of the things, like more than 10 we can deal that, so that we can discuss in detail of here this. Then after we can deal with the Google Maps. So how to handle the Google Maps in our application, so that we will discuss in detail of this, like how to create a Google Maps key, and how to create a Google Maps navigations, places, everything that we will discuss in detail here. The next is the animations. So like animations will play the major role to your application, because to attract the users, animations are important. So those animations we will see, like more than 30 different kinds of animations are there. Like here we will see the major, around 10 to 15 major kind of animations we will see this. And after that how to add the ads to your application. So if you want to develop your own application to earn some amount, so how to add the advertisements to your application, and how to maintain, because the maintenance of this is very important. So that how to deal that we will discuss in detail here this. Right after that, overview of the store account, like how to upload the app, how to purchase the account, and how to upload the Play Store, and how to manage that, how to distribute this application, so that we can discuss in detail here this. And after that I added some of the new topics, like security enhancements, like now once we install the WhatsApp, it is asking the permission, right? Accept the permission of contacts, camera. So such kind of permissions, how it is running, that we will see. And the next is the one of the third party tool, that is a Postman, how to check the web services before going to the program, that we will discuss in detail. And GitHub, like how to upload the apps to GitHub, that we will discuss in this. Next is the validations, like user side validations, that we will discuss in detail of this. So these all are the things we are going to discuss in our, this is our complete course content. So you have any questions on this course content side? No questions? Is it clear? Sairam and Praveen, is it clear? Yes, okay, thank you. So these all are the things we are going to discuss in the next 45 days. Like so, now we will see some term like that is a first section. So what is mobile app development? So first of all, what is mobile app development? So mobile app development is nothing but mobile app development. What are the applications we are building that can be run in a mobile app environment that we can say as a mobile app development, right? So here, what kind of mobile app developments are there? So whatever we are going to discuss in this 45 days that we can say as a native mobile app development. So native mobile app development. Using the native mobile app development, we can build Android and iOS. To separate, we need to discuss. Means if you want to become an Android developer, you need to learn Android. If you want to become an iOS developer, you need to become an this. And apart from this, there is a next step that is there, that is cross platform. So cross platform. So this cross platform is nothing but here it will come like Flutter, React. So Flutter is there, React is there, Xamarin is there, so etc. So like this, many is there, but these all are the famous we can use. Means in a cross platform, if we develop the cross platform, we will get two apps at a time. One is Android, other is the iOS. But if you want to get this cross platform knowledge, you must have the minimum knowledge on the native development of both Android and iOS. Then only you can get the concept of here this cross platform. Otherwise, you cannot go with the cross platform. Means if you directly can go, it cannot be possible to handle the things, right? This is development. But here next we need to understand here in our Android. So here Android development can be happen with Java or with Kotlin. So in a both using the both languages we can develop here this. But which one is simple? Means Java is the longer. So compared to Java also now the Kotlin is simple because there are many syntax is reduced and it can handle the null pointer exceptions. The many things as involved in this Kotlin. So Kotlin has following the many things that while we are discussing the program, we will discuss in detail what are the advantages compared to the Java to Kotlin. That because of the reason even in a latest every industry people like who are going to start the new projects, everyone are starting with the Kotlin only. So that is we will discuss in detail of this Kotlin. Right. So the Kotlin. So here the Kotlin is a very shortened code and it has null pointer exceptions. The major advantages is the null pointer exceptions. It can handle the null pointer exceptions automatically and the code is very short. And syntax is wise, it auto generated syntax. And here we will use the environment called Android Studio to develop the Android application. So this Android Studio, that is we can say as IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. So this IDE is very important because this IDE, using this IDE, it's an intelligent IDE. Android Studio is an intelligent IDE, so that we can get more the things like drag and drop options, and while you are typing the code, automatically the code will generate. So such kind of many things it will be involved. So that's the reason it is an Android Studio is a very intelligent studio, that is Android Studio is a very intelligent this. All right. So that the things can be involved here. So then tomorrow's session we will start with the Android history and what are the versions, what are the features, history and features first we'll start. After that we'll enter into the versions part. Is it clear or any questions? Okay, then we will meet tomorrow morning with Android features, history and versions.